Welcome to the Bolts Breakdown Podcast. This is a podcast for fans, by fans. My name is Boomer.
And I'm Tommy.
And this is the 7th episode. We are here to break down everything that is happening with the Tampa Bay Lightning. So 2 nights ago, we're recording this on Tuesday night. We had a playoff game. We had Game 4, huge stakes for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Currently, we were trailing 2-1 in the series. And it was not a must-win, but it was pretty darn close. And the Lightning did not disappoint. So let me just catch you up to speed, and then we'll talk all about it. But we went down in a 2-0 hole to start the game. So there's a graphic for those of you watching. We allowed the first goal again. And speaking of the past 3 games, the person who scored the first goal, or the team that scored the first goal, ended up winning the game. So I don't know about you, Tommy, but when they scored first, I was like, uh-oh, here we go again. And then they scored another one before we ever scored, which was the first time in this whole series that any team has led by 2 goals. So they had a power play goal before the first period, or before the second period was over, and we were looking at a 3-1 deficit in the series, down 2-0 in the game. Panic was setting in, but not for the Lightning players. Jake Guentzel scored at a 4-on-4 situation. Brandon Hagel added a power play goal later. And then eventually Brandon Hagel took the lead 5-on-5, and the Lightning won 3-2 in regulation to tie the series 2-2 before Game 5.
What a game, Boomer.
What a game. What did you think about Game 4, Tommy? I know that's a broad question, and there's so much to unpack, but, I mean, just like general feelings. Like, was that an exciting game for you? Were you just anxious the whole time? Walk me through kind of like how you were feeling when you were watching it, how you're feeling now.
I was anxious. So in all reality, I'll just share with you my experience watching the game. The game started around 7:10 or so on Sunday night, and I was driving back from Gainesville to Tampa for the week, and so I had to listen to the first half of the first period, and so I got Michigan on the radio, listened to him, and I was just anxious. I was like so anxious and not sure how we would do. Of course, I couldn't tell how we were playing because I was just listening. But I was just a ball of anxiety, I would say. I remember what I said. I don't know if you remember what I said last time for the last reaction, but I think I mentioned something like we would be having a different conversation if we had scored the overtime goal.
Oh,
right?
for sure.
I think you remember that?
Yep.
Well, this is the different conversation, and we played a great game, okay? The Lightning came out swinging, and yes, we didn't have the greatest first 2 periods, but Max Crozier hit. It's like, I don't know what we would call it, ACH or something, like after the Crozier hit and BCH before Crozier hit, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that's kind of what we are, is like ACH and then BCH, and BCH was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
You're saying we were struggling a little bit before the Max Crozier hit, and then that changed everything? That's your game-changing moment then?
Listen, I think it can't be anything else. That is the game-changing moment for me. I know Brandon Hagel was he was pumping up the team before that, but for me, watching the game completely changed after that hit in my head. And maybe it was just from my watching it. I don't know. But just from my experience, that's what it was. And I was still a ball of anxiety from that time until the end of the game. But man, what a game that we played. And John Kipper called it the most complete game, I think, of the entire playoff so far. So
He did.
man,
He's liked our game a lot. I think that, so we were down 2-0 at that point. So Max Crozier, honestly, I don't know what you thought. I thought he hadn't been playing super good. He took the first period penalty, a high-staking penalty. I was like, maybe it's just nerves for him. This is his first game and his first playoff game in this year. But other than that, like, he was injured, and he got in 1 game to end the regular season. So Max Crozier hasn't really played a lot. And now he's in this game, and he took the penalty, and I thought he had a couple like turnovers that weren't very great. And so I was kind of like, I was prepared to come on the podcast or write on the blog like, Max Crozier didn't show up. He wasn't what we needed. And then all of a sudden, I think 12 minutes left in the second period, he delivers this huge open ice hit on Slavkovsky I have the hit too, so if
Oh
anyone's
yeah.
watching, you can watch it on repeat here. But I mean, you're right.
Oh
It
my
changed the
goodness.
momentum of the whole game, and the players just got fired up because Max
Yeah,
Crozier stepped up and said, "You know what? I'm going to help the team out by delivering this huge hit. Right place, right time kind of situation."
absolutely. Yeah.
It's funny though. I don't know that I would credit that play. I mean, that changed a lot. But right after it, Montreal takes a penalty, right? So we go on the power play and we kind of throw away all the momentum we had gained by us committing a penalty, right? So we had
Hmm.
like 20 seconds of a power play, then we commit a penalty, and now it's 4-on-4. So I thought the
Yeah.
biggest change in momentum, the biggest turning point, you call it, is the Jake Gensel 4-on-4 goal.
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, if he doesn't score that, that's like at the tail end of the second period, right? If he
Yeah.
doesn't score that, I don't know that we win that game. We can't be going
Yeah.
into the third period down 2 goals. Like, not against the Canadiens, not in a playoff game. Like, that's a deep hole. So Jake Gensel scoring that right after we throw away our power play, I mean, that was a huge moment for me. So
Yeah. I think that all three of our goals, a few of the hits, a lot of the penalties could be attributed to that change and to that momentum shift, right? You could even say at 2-2, when it was a 2-2 game with just about 5 minutes left in the game, and Hagel scores that goal. It's more so Kucherov scores the goal, slaps it off of
Kucherov
Hagel's
scored off of
glove,
Hagel.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but however you wanna frame it, um, any one of those moments could be pivotal because just as easily, Montreal could have scored with 5 minutes left in the game, and it would have been a totally different story. And so I think that's again what I meant from last game's reaction was that if we had scored the overtime goal, we're having a different conversation right now. It could just easily be a sweep for either team right now. It could just easily be 3-1 for either team right now, and it's 2-2 because these teams, as I have said from the beginning, before when we were previewing the whole series, was these teams are evenly matched. And everything that I'm saying now is just a reflection of what I have been saying, and it's proving it. So I don't know. I feel confident that it's going to continue that way. I said it's Bolts in seven, and so I still feel that way. But I know you're at Bolts in six.
When
So.
games are this tight though, like what does separate it? Like you said, like they could have easily scored the go ahead goal there in the third. So I mean, what gives the Bolts, like, how do the Bolts get a leg up? How are we going to win the series? How is it Bolts in 7 if it's just a coin flip each time? You know,
Well,
is there a piece that makes you say it's Bolts in 7, or is it really just that's what you're hoping for?
well, it's always what we're hoping for, Boomer. I mean,
Sure, sure. But I'm just
it's always
curious
what
if
we're
you
hoping
have
for.
like a factor that's like, no, Tampa Bay is the better team. They'll find a way.
So I told you key to the game last time was going to be getting physical, right?
Right.
Getting physical, fighting, that kind of
Like a
thing.
big
And there
hit
weren't
like
as
this.
many fights. I mean, yeah. Boomer, for those listening, he just keeps throwing it up on the screen, the big hit by Crozier. But um, if we get physical, is what I said, then we're going to win the game, right? Or we're going to have a good chance of winning the game. And that's what happened. We did. Now, it wasn't that way the whole time. It may have just been a couple of hits here and there, but it did get physical. And so I think that we have the edge when we get physical, when we get emotional. We have that edge as a team, I think. I don't think I see Montreal having that edge. I think, what I see happening is if we take penalties consistently and it's not even, because it's been just about even, I think we have one more power play than them on this entire series. But if we take more penalties than they do
Yeah.
and they're on the power play, I think that we lose the series. To be honest with you, I think that we take too many penalties. We take more penalties than we get power plays, and their power play unit gets to go out there. They're going to score goals. They've shown that to be the case, especially game one and game three. And so I think that if we take too many penalties, we lose. I think that if we get emotional, we fight, we hit, we win. So those are that's how I see it going, right? And if I start seeing us take penalties, I'm not going to be like, we're going to overcome, we're going to win. No, I think we're going to lose if we start taking these penalties like an idiot team. But we're just not. I think we can be disciplined when we need to be, and I think we will be, and I think we'll win.
Were you as frustrated at the refs watching Game 4 as I
Okay,
was?
I have to say,
I was screaming at the TV. Like,
I have to say that I agree with you now. Okay, I'm on your side. I was trying to as much as I could be neutral and say it is what it is. It's going to be hockey. It's going to be stupid calls. It's going to be dumb calls. It's going to be lots of power plays, lots of penalty kills. But I can't anymore. I don't know what the refs are doing, man. I'm annoyed. I'm just pissed off. I'm frustrated. And it's not one way or the other, right? There are stupid penalties on both sides.
Yeah.
And there were penalties that weren't penalties on both sides. So it is what it is. Everybody's saying the refs are paid off. All the fans, whenever we win the game, the refs are paid off for us. Whenever they win the game, the refs are paid off for them. So the refs are getting a good payday is all I'm noticing from this, okay? It's
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
It is ridiculous, and it's crazy. So here's a little random stat for you.
Okay.
So the Lightning and the Canadiens have the most power play opportunities between the two teams of any series in the first round.
Not surprised.
So yeah, it's not surprising. I mean, Dallas and Minnesota are close. We've had 39 power play opportunities. So we've had 20. They've had 19. And
that is
Dallas, Minnesota has
unbelievable, by the
38.
way.
Yeah, that's a ton. That's 4 games. Like, that's almost 10 power play opportunities a game. Like, that's absurd.
I think Cooper said.
Yep,
I think Cooper said like a whole period, right? There was a whole period worth of power plays in one of the games.
I mean, I'm sure
Something
that doesn't surprise me.
Anyways,
I mean, if there's 10 power plays, 2 minutes each, that's 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So
there you go.
It's too many, in my opinion. But it shows the high caliber series we're watching, because in all that, like in the extra space, in the man advantage, this series has had the least shots on goal. We're at 187, and the most is Dallas, Minnesota. They're at 274. So
wow.
Only 187 shots in our series. And high danger chances, we only have 80, which is by far the least of any first-round series. So it's like we have all these power play opportunities, all this space, all this like man advantage chances, but it's not translating to actual high danger chances for either team, and it's not translating to more shots on goal. So it's like it shows how strong the defense is. That's the point I'm trying to make. Like, both teams are playing such a tight, checking, a strong defensive game that even when the refs are giving us every opportunity to have this be the offensive showdown that maybe people were expecting, it's not happening. It's just like it's all defense, all tight check. It's all like, I'm going to clear the zone as fast as possible, and if we don't get a chance, like, at least it's out of our zone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that this game, or this series really, is the polar opposite to the Anaheim-Edmonton series. And for those of you who haven't watched those games, I don't have the stats in front of me, but between them collectively, I think Anaheim scored something like 16 goals in 3 games or something crazy like that. And total, they've scored a ridiculous amount of goals, something like 25 or something like that, throughout the series with 4 games. And I think, how many for us? It's been 5,
7, 5, 5, 5, so 22.
22. So they must be up to 30 then, or somewhere around there. But anyways, just watching the other series and the other games, every single one of our games is a 1-goal game. There's not even empty net opportunities. Like, there's literally not even empty net opportunities at the end. They're so tight. And I think John Cooper said it, like, you can't really get momentum when your game finishes at the final buzzer. Like, that's when you find out who's going to win, is the final buzzer. Like, that's a ridiculous thing when you don't have all this momentum that's building from scoring 6, 7, 8, 9 goals or whatever craziness is happening in those other series. So I don't know. I think it's just our game and our series are always tight, and they're going to be, I think, to the end. And so who wins? What's the key? Just what I said earlier, right? Emotion, fighting, or penalties. That's really what I see it coming down. What do you see it coming down to? I mean, what are your keys to, like, how are we going to win the coin flip if it's going to be this close every time?
I still think we're just the better team. Like, I know I've been
but
saying
what
that, and I
tells you
keep
that,
predicting.
though? What tells you that, though?
3 things. 1, best player in the series, Nikita Kucherov. Or Brandon Hagel. Take either one. But Nikita Kucherov. 2, best coach in the series, John Cooper. 3, best goaltender in the series, Andrei Vasilevsky. Not to mention, we have more depth than the Hurricanes. We have than the Canadiens. We have more experience than the Canadiens. Like, when I think about it, everything boils down to, like, we just are the better team. Like we just
Mm.
are, and there's no reason we shouldn't win the series. The only
Does the
thing that's
better
going to
team
stop
always
us is our
win?
own mistakes. No. So no, it doesn't. Especially when they're like this tight, and especially when Montreal's elevating their game to the level they are. Like they're without one of their best shot blockers, in Dobson. Like he led the whole team in blocked shots, and he's not even in the series. So can you imagine if he was also taking shots away from the Darren Radishes and the JJ Mosers? Like it would be even harder for us. But Montreal's playing great. It's just I think like game 4, like overtime in game 2. I think when we turn it on, there's no better team. I think we're just better, and so I just keep believing and keep hoping that game 5 and 6, we're just going to turn it on. And it's going to be over in 6 games. It's just like that. But every time I keep coming on here and I'm like, Vasi shutout, Bolts blowout, and it doesn't happen. So it's probably going to be a close series like it has been. But I
Yeah.
just think we're the better team, and the key is quite literally just playing like we know we can.
Hmm. So, I mean, I'm thinking about that too, and I think your point that you've made before in previous, I think this is during our preview of the whole series, where you talked about, if we have Vasi and Kucherov and Cooper, we're gonna win, right? Those
Right.
elements, it's the hat trick of victory, basically. Like those three elements, and we're gonna win the game, we're gonna win the series. Um, I think I'm curious now that you've watched 4 games of the series, if it would now be Hagel instead of Kucherov. Um, and also if there are any other players that you would say are integral to how we're playing the games in these past 4, or maybe it just is up to those top players.
Well, I mean, of course. Like there are players like Hagel, there's no denying Hagel has been like absolutely dominant. And he has been so vital for our team, and he's carried our team. He really has. So let me show you some stats here while we're talking about
Hmm.
Hagel. Um, so when Brandon Hagel's on the ice, for those of you watching, you can see this on the screen. This is something I tweeted out. But when he's on the ice at 5-on-5, 66% of the shot attempts are coming from the Bolts. 76% of the actual shots on nets are coming from the Bolts. 69% of the expected goals from the Bolts. 80% of the scoring chances, Bolts. And we have 6 goals for while allowing 0. That's just when Brandon Hagel's on the ice. Basically, boiling all that down to, like, we're dominating when Brandon Hagel's on the ice. Like, you tell me Brandon Hagel steps on the ice and the Bolts have 80% of the scoring chances. Like,
Mm.
he's crucial, and there's no
Yeah.
denying that. But with that being said, I think where Kucherov comes in is even if he's not the one making the play, like when they go watch film, I guarantee you Kucherov is helping these players like see the weaknesses in the Canadians, like see how they can break down their penalty kill. Like Kucherov is such a series changer, even if he's not the one scoring the goals.
Mm.
I think his intellect in regards to hockey is just so far superior to everybody else that it just gives the Lightning an advantage. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter
So
if it's Hagel or Gensel or Cooch. It's probably coming from Cooch because he's that leader. He's the locker room voice. He's the guy who's saying, hey, I'm going to move over here. They're all going to follow me. You're going to have Hagel backdoor or whatever. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I think that there are cornerstones of our team. And I think that's kind of what you're sort of alluding to and talking about. And I think when you have things like, or people, right, like Kucherov or Vasilevsky or John Cooper as cornerstones, I think another cornerstone I would say would be Cirelli. Totally
For
honest with
sure.
you, like Tony Cirelli, um, he he has always been matched up against Suzuki, no matter who is on his line. John Cooper is calling it the Cirelli line, whether it's Cirelli, Hagel, Kucherov. Well, it's Cirelli, Point, or not Point, Cirelli, Gonsalves and Gensel, or whoever it is with Cirelli. It's the Cirelli line matched up against Suzuki, and he's done well. And so I think those guys are the cornerstones. And so what those guys do is they're consistent. They're always producing something, whether, like you said, it's intellect or whatnot, to, I think, elevate players like Brandon Hagel, right, to those levels of, frankly, stardom, which is kind of where he's going to right now, is like he's being elevated to this high level. And I see him maybe at some point becoming a cornerstone of the Lightning. But right now, he's not necessarily cornerstone. He's just kind of being built up and he's being shown to everybody else of like, this is how good he is. I think Brandon Hagel, to be totally honest with you, is a product of the Tampa Bay Lightning just as much as he's a product of Brandon Hagel's own work ethic and philosophy.
I'm
And so I
sure.
think
I'm
when you
sure.
get put into these types of systems, he's been here since what, 22, you start to flourish, and people are seeing the results of Brandon Hagel that they may have not seen years past. But that's because of people like Kucherov, like Tony Israeli, like Braden Point, like Vasilevsky, foundations of the team. So
They're
at
all
least that's
making
just
they're
how
all
I see
making
it.
Hagel better.
Absolutely, absolutely. People always say that. They say, "Well, how can you say that Radish? This isn't just a fluke season, or it's not just Kucherov giving him one-timers." And you're like, "Of course he is, but if a good player plays with other good players, they're going to be even better. And if
Right.
a meh decent player plays with good players, they're probably just going to be meh, and they might show some cool moves every once in a while, but they have to be in the right places. They have to score the goals. They have to shoot the puck, right?" And Jake Gensel is a great example of that too, right? Playing with Sidney Crosby, now playing with Kucherov and Point and all these other guys. So that's just
Yeah,
how I see it right now.
that's
But
fair. So I like going back and trying to see what I can from like slowing the game down and watching highlights and stuff. So I want to show you. Let me show you the power play. So for those not watching,
yeah.
we'll try to describe this. But on the screen, so
Oh
the
my
top
gosh, you
left
just gave me a
picture.
quad box. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
there's four
Okay.
pictures. So the top left is earlier in the same power play that the rest of the pictures are from. So top left, it
Mm-hmm.
shows you see Kucherov is the one with the puck in the face-off circle. He's passing up to Gensel near the blue line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see
Mm-hmm.
the Canadians kind of have that lane to Hagel net front blocked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in the next picture to the right, and the
Okay.
picture in the bottom, so bottom left and top right picture, you
Mm-hmm.
see two things happen. One, Nikita Kucherov shifts down towards the goal. He's shifting like into the corner behind the net, like really deep in the zone. And then you
Mm-hmm.
see Gensel, who has the puck in this bottom left picture, and Radish
Mm-hmm.
slide over to the far side, right? They're moving their feet, they're going further. And if you look at Hagel net front in the bottom left picture.
Mm-hmm.
He's pointing to Nikita Kucherov. He
Mm.
already sees just in these small movements, Kucherov sliding down, Radish and Gensel sliding over, that everything's opening up.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously the fourth picture, bottom right, Gensel passes back to Kucherov, who immediately feeds Hagel, who's net front, and he has that wide open lane to score. That's that
Mm.
power play goal. That was the second goal of the game, where Hagel scored on the power play. But it's moments like that, like when I stop and break it down, that's like completely planned. Like that is Kucherov knowing exactly what their penalty kill is going to do and reacting to it. And that is so rehearsed that even Hagel, who's standing net front, can see it happening as they're moving and is
Mm-hmm.
calling pass it to Kucherov because he knows the puck's coming right to his stick,
Yeah.
right? And so those are the
And
moments
for,
that I'm talking about. Like that's Hagel's goal. And the broadcast are talking about he's low on his stick, like he's ready for it and all this stuff. But when I slow it down and watch it back, I'm like, that's Kucherov. Like Kucherov organized that, and if you watch all of our power plays, like he keeps passing to Gensel, right? Who's like standing at the top of the faceoff circle near the blue line. He keeps passing back and forth. And to me, when he's passing back and forth, it's Kucherov sizing up like how the power play is moving and how they're reacting to that pass because he knows exactly what's going to happen when he shifts down and Gensel and Radish slide over, right?
yeah. Well, you lost me halfway through there with the nerdiness, but the piece that I got, Boomer, was we have so many weapons. And when you track the puck as well as the Canadians do, you're going to be on top of that thing, right? You're going to know where it is, where it's going. But sometimes when you have all the weapons that we do, Darren Radish one timer, 95-mile-an-hour slap shot, Jake Gensel weaseling his way into wherever he needs to go. Nikita Kucherov passing or shooting, you have no idea what's going to happen. Braden Point in the slot scoring all his goals. Brandon Hagel, I have no idea where you're going to be, but you're probably going to try to score a goal from anywhere on the ice. You have all these weapons on the power play, and when the Canadians track the puck to the blue line, pull everybody away, and you leave Kucherov with any bit of space, he's going to score a goal, and he's going to score a goal. He's going to assist a goal. He's going to be part of the play. And like you said, you have these guys like Kucherov who are these cornerstones who know what's going on, who can dissect a team. And if they're given the space, the time, or the opportunity, they're going to do it. And that's what I saw happen. And so I love that you shared that breakdown because as I'm looking at it, I'm like, wait, what's happening? Like, so you're pulling them up to the blue line, and then they're kind of faking their little one timer, and then they pass it back down to the goal line, and then he passes it over to Hagel, who's wide open. You're like, oh, of course, obviously. But I really, as a fan, see that happening because all five of the players on the ice have a legitimate opportunity to score at any moment. And so I think there's got to be some sort of fear that Radish is going to just slam that puck on net.
Oh,
There's
I'm
got to be
sure.
a
That's
fear.
why they slide over. And I know I get pretty nerdy with some of this,
I
and I lose
love
some
it
of it.
though
And
because I'm like,
like,
that's Bulls breakdown right there. Like
yeah, to
that
some
is Bulls
degree, for sure.
breakdown.
But it's cool when you can show it down or slow it down, and you can kind of show that the little shift, like Gensel and Radish sliding over, makes them afraid that Radish is going to take this slap shot from the other angle. Like, I don't, whatever it is that Montreal is reading, like they're all moving over, and it opens a lane that wasn't previously there. So it's just cool. It's cool to watch. It's cool to see the brilliance of this team. Like you said, we have so many good weapons. Uh, but that's
Yeah.
equally frustrating when it's not clicking. It's like, how are we not clicking? Or
Yeah.
when, if, like, it's 2-2. If this series was worse, or if Montreal does go on to win it, it's going to be extremely disappointing for me because it's like I said earlier, this
Yeah.
is the Lightning are a better team, So
Yeah.
it's just frustrating when the power play doesn't click like that, or when we do lose, it's like how and why. But as
Well,
John Cooper always reminds us, like, the other team has a say in this too. Like, we might
yeah.
be all world, which I think we are, but if Montreal has the game of their lives, like, anybody can take it to us. So
Well, in vein of, not wanting to always make running references, but I do feel like this running reference may be helpful. And I don't know if you keep up with general sports news of things that are going on, but recently the London Marathon happened. Did you see anything about this?
no, no.
Okay.
Was that on
So,
TNT or during an
no.
intermission, or when did that happen?
No, no, I know, big hockey fan, but recently a huge thing happened in the sports world where in the London Marathon, for the first time in history, there was actually not one but two runners who ran the marathon under 2 hours. And so I don't
Wow,
know if
that's
you know
quick.
anything that it's quick is such an understatement. So these
So
guys are running.
I'll shed perspective if somebody doesn't know, kind of like me.
Yeah,
I ran a
yeah.
half marathon in over 2 hours.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
there you go, right? I think a marathon in under 2 hours is something like 2 minutes and 50 seconds per kilometer, which is equivalent to about 4:33 per mile, something like that.
for
So
26 miles. Wow, that's
yes.
impressive.
So these guys are running insane speeds. These are world class. These are the best marathon athletes in the entire world. And this record of breaking 2 hours in the marathon has never been broken before, right? Never, ever in the history of the world under normal conditions has this been broken in a race. And on this day at the London Marathon, two guys do it. One guy one guy ran 1:59 and 30 seconds. The other guy ran an hour and 59 and 41 seconds. And so I'm just wanting you to like, I share that because I want people to think like these are two of the most elite athletes in the marathon in the entire world who are running faster than anybody who has ever run before. And the guy who got second place broke the marathon world record by 50 seconds. By
And
50
still
seconds in
lost.
the marathon, almost a minute, and he still lost. And so when I watch Montreal and I watch Tampa playing at this elite level next to each other, coin flip, overtime, one goal, one mistake, one thing, what I see is two marathon runners breaking world records who are next to each other. One of them is going to lose, and yet they still broke a world record. And so it's crazy to see that. Actually, third place guy ran in just over 2 hours, and he actually also broke the world record from the previous
Wow.
runs.
How
And so
crushing
third
is that?
place still uh, broke the world record and got third place. And so what I noticed about all that, to share that story, to bring in other sports, is to show that you can be elite in your sport and you can run up against somebody having their best day of their entire life, or a series where both teams are playing at the highest level they've played, maybe in 4 years, maybe in 15 years. I don't know. But that's what this series is. That's how I see it happening. And that's why I think it's going to go to 7 games. And that's why I think the Lightning are going to be the guy who won and came out on top.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say, let's hope we're the guy that ran it 11 seconds faster than the other guy. But
absolutely.
give me your prediction for Game 5, which is tonight. We'll be releasing this Wednesday morning, so 7 p.m. We'll play in Tampa Bay. What do you think the result is of this game? Tell me.
Gosh, Boomer.
Give me a score prediction. Give me is Hagel the star again? Who's the star of Game 5 for you?
Okay, so I think Game 5, I just can't see it going any different than it has. I just can't. And I see another low scoring, anxiety producing. I don't think I have any nails left on my finger at this point to
Are you
chew
just
off.
grinding them? Oh,
Um,
all right.
2-1.
2-1.
Bolts win.
Lightning. All
Corey
right.
Perry scores the game-winning goal.
Corey
So
Perry. We call him Scory Perry.
Scory Perry. I see someone like Corey Perry, and if not Corey Perry, someone similar scoring the game-winning goal. But I see a 2-1 victory for the Bolts. I don't know if it's going to be overtime or not, but 2-1 victory. Someone like Corey Perry scoring that game-winning goal, and going back to Montreal. And as you can see, based on my prediction for Game 5, I'm also predicting Game 6 at this point too, of a Lightning loss, unfortunately,
Lightning
but
loss.
coming
Wow.
back because I
All
think we're
right.
going 7 games, right? So I
You're
have to
cut
pick
off. No
a
more,
win
Tommy.
loss.
No more.
Okay. I'm done.
That's
I'm done. Your
terrible.
turn.
How
Your
dare
turn.
you? Uh, do you see same lineup? If Charles Edouard Stu is ready, is he coming in? Is Crozier going out after his big hit? I mean,
Can you take him out after that? I just don't think you
I
can.
think you can personally, but I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you
I don't know.
think?
I think that if somebody is not 100%, and I heard some people talking about on a different podcast talking about how they might go 11-7, right? 11 forwards, 7 defensemen, which is different than their normal 12 forward, 6 defenseman lineup. And so have the extra defenseman in there to get Chucky, a few shifts in and kind of warm up into it. However, I vehemently disagree with that. I think that that would be stupid. I think that if we're going to put someone in the playoffs, we should not be putting them in so that they can get a couple of good shifts. I think that somebody needs to be 110% ready to go into the playoffs. So I think we do 12-6. And if Chucky's ready, sure, he's going to go instead of Crozier. Absolutely. I could see that happening. However, I do not see us running 11-7 and keeping both in. So I don't know if he's going to be ready. Who knows? I can't predict that particularly, but if he is ready, he's going in for Crozier.
I like it. I don't know. I see the benefit of 11-7. It just hasn't gone well for us this year. So my prediction for Game 5, I think the Lightning are going to crush them. I think enough is enough. I think we're finally going to just show that we're the better team. I'm saying 5-1. I think Braden Point is huge in this game. Multiple goals, maybe at least multiple points. I think Brandon Hagel is going to play another vital role. He's had 25 minutes of ice time each of the past 2 games. I just don't see that slowing down. I think he's just on fire right now. So Brandon Hagel, again, huge. I think Braden Point awakens for normal playoff point, and the Bolts win big 5-1 is my prediction.
Wow.
So
I would love that, Boomer. Please.
and I
let that be
think
true.
Chucky is going to stay out. I think Crozier will play, but who knows? I mean, that's just a toss up at this point. Both players are good, but
We'll see. Well, I
that's
am
gonna.
curious, Boomer, before you
Yep,
finish up. I know it's
sure.
getting late, but as I'm just telling you, I'm looking at my bracket and I'm feeling pretty good about it so far. So
We'll throw him
I
back
think
up. So
I'm feeling pretty
Tommy's is on the
good.
right side of the screen. Mine is on the left there. So
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, I got my Flyers. We'll see. We'll see. I had them in 6. They're almost there. The Hurricanes, I have them through in sweep. Buffalo's looking good. Colorado's in. My worries are the rest of that Western Conference there, and of course the Bolts. But we shall see. I just wanted to poke that one in there a little bit and see if you were checking
yeah.
on your bracket or not.
No, I am. I definitely feel kind of dumb for picking the Senators there. So you had the Hurricanes beating them in 4 games too. That's pretty impressive. And you have the
Yeah.
Flyers beating Pittsburgh in 6, which could happen. If the
Mhm.
Sabres win tonight, they're playing as we record, then you'll be right about that too. So all in all, Tommy, I got to say, you sure know your stuff. That's why I keep asking you for your predictions, because I need to know what the result is for these games
I was
coming up.
close. Listen, 2-0 shutout, not quite. 3-2 win, not what I was expecting. So we're gonna see what happens. Game 6. I'm excited to see it, and we will be down there in Thunder Alley, right?
Game
So
5, yes.
game
Game
5, game
5.
5, game 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but we will be there. Yeah, we're going to be in Thunder Alley. So, again, everybody, thank you for watching. This is Bolts Breakdown Podcast. It's by fans, Tommy and I, for fans, for all of Bolts Nation. Bolts Breakdown does exist in multiple formats, though. There is a blog that I write every week. It goes straight to your email inbox on Monday mornings. That includes literally everything you could want as a Lightning fan. You want highlights? It's in the blog. You want milestones? In the blog. You want random findings? Also in the blog. So you can subscribe for free. All it takes is an email address, and that goes to you on Monday mornings. And if you aren't a reader, if you don't like emails, then you just listen to this podcast, and we're here to talk about all things Tampa Bay Lightning every single playoff game and every week throughout the season. So thanks for listening. We will see you on the next one.